Hey, here we go. We are live once again on a beautiful Wednesday for an episode of SNL. My name is Lane.
And I am Scott. We want to welcome you to today's show. It's a wonderful summer day here on the coast. And speaking of the coast, we're going to be talking about coastal properties today that are for sale.
That's exactly right. This is kind of a fun show for us because we're going to be going over some of the most expensive homes currently available on the market. So get that checkbook handy if you're ready, because you're going to be buying in one of these homes. I guarantee it, right? You're watching it, you're going to be buying one of these homes. So I can't wait to show the list.
Yeah, we can't wait until we start. And we'll live vicariously for a moment for many of us through the lens of these ultra expensive properties, upwards of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars. Let's get started and take the tour.
Yeah, exactly. And a quick little disclaimer. These are not Sackin-Stone team listings. We do have to, make sure that we say that, because we can't present these as if they're ours.
That's right.
But if you're interested, we're able to show them to you.
Absolutely. We can represent a buyer on any one of these properties.
There you go. All right, open it up. So we're going to start with currently the most expensive home available in Orange County. And this takes into consideration of everything that's publicly marketed. So if there's something that's off market or a pocket that's listed for more, anybody can say, you know what, I'll sell my house, but I need $100 million for it. So be it. But this is what's currently active and public on the market, starting with 6 Midsummer.
Crazy. We looked at this photo, some of these photos earlier, and this mid photo here, the one on the left now, actually, to me, it reminded me of like a grand ballroom or a hotel lobby somewhere in the middle of Europe. It's just crazy with those galleries, the double staircase. Then next to that, you've got that kind of Tiffany-esque, looks like a chandelier or a skylight. I mean, it's just crazy, the opulence we see in these homes, and the scale is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's listed as a newer build for 2021 with 7 bedrooms and 13 bathrooms. And we made a joke earlier in the show, like there's more bathrooms for this listing than there are photos. So there's if you really want to see all 13 bathrooms, you're going to have to go look inside this home in particular.
And this home, if I'm correct, Lane, it's in Newport Coast, right?
Yes, Newport Coast. And you've got, great views of Pacific Ocean, Catalina, Newport Harbor, PV. It's just obviously an incredible view, incredible property, estimated at a little over 15,000 square feet of living space.
It's crazy. This is right at the top of the hill there. And for those of you that are not totally up to speed on what's happening with Orange County development, Newport Coast was an area that was developed starting about 20 years ago, midway between Corona del Mar and the Laguna Beach border. This was open land that was owned by the Irvine Company, and it was developed in a segmented, staged area with some townhomes, single-family homes, some subdivisions, and then some custom lots at the very top of the hill, which were the last to be developed, and then also some custom lots that kind of ring the Pelican Hill Country Club and that area. Also, you've got the Marriott timeshares there. It's a whole resort-oriented area, and it's perfectly situated along the coast, but then just up the hill, you've got access to the 73 toll road that can take you anywhere north or south. So this is just a primo location for many people. The people that would buy this house perhaps would even have a private jet that they would have at the John Wayne Airport, just 10 minutes up the road. It's just kind of the ideal location for someone that has it all and wants it all.
Now, if you're a car buff, right, and you want a temperature controlled garage that's basically 50% larger than my entire house with a turntable. So the garage is sitting at 3,725 square feet and 10-car garage. This is the home for you.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know.
It. And then this home theater just looks like, I don't know, out of a magazine. It's amazing.
Yeah. So once again, this is currently the highest priced home publicly listed within our multiple listing database in Orange County, $69,800,000.
And do we have any takers? Just think about it. there's some cachet to say, I own the most expensive property in all of Orange County. We'd love to represent you if this is something that's of interest to you.
Okay, so should we move on to the next one?
Absolutely.
All right.
Here we go. This is a fun tour today. It's a fun tour today.
And we're spreading it around different areas, by the way, too, Scott. So right now we're going into San Clemente. Now, this one's pretty incredible here as well. As you can see there at the bottom, 9 beds and 14 total baths at 15,000 square feet of living. So very similar to the last home, very similar in price as well. Now, this one, Scott, this one's pretty special. You want to know why?
Tell me why.
It's on 2 parcels totaling almost 5.5 acres.
Wow. This looks like a complete family compound, multi-generational living here. It reminds me of something we might see in Hawaii. I mean, that's kind of what it's giving me, a Hawaii vibe when I look at these aerial shots and so forth. It's a absolutely private compound in San Clemente. And again, just to put a geographic context to that, San Clemente is the furthest southernmost city we have in Orange County. And then beyond that is Camp Pendleton. And then past that, you're in San Diego County.
Yeah, and if you're looking for beach frontage, okay, we're talking 480 linear feet of beach frontage with this particular home. So if you're looking for that beach home, this is the one.
This is the one. And Lane, I thank you so much for reading all the fine print. My aging eyes cannot discern these square footages and so forth. So thank you so much for being the guy that is making sure our viewers get to see the fine print here today. This looks amazing. And, you know, as everyone knows, I'm a total garden and landscape buff, and these grounds are just manicured to the max. I mean, every tree looks pruned properly. There doesn't seem to be even a blade of grass out of place here. I think if you had this property, you might even have a live-in caretaker that's got a cottage somewhere on the grounds. I would certainly lobby for that if this was my property.
I was going to ask you, Scott, because I know have a green thumb and you're a landscape buff, and you take care of, you know, your properties extremely well. They're absolutely beautiful when it comes to your landscape. Like, how many people and how often are they coming to make sure that this looks as beautiful as it is? If you had to
look
take
at
a
this
guess?
garden. If I had to take a guess, if we're talking 5.5 acres, and as I said, it's completely manicured, I'm going to guess that they have 1 to 2 full-time staff. That would be if indeed you want, like the flowers that we saw there, those are all seasonal annual flowers. So if you want an annual cutting garden and you want everything maintained just fantastically perfect, for 5.5 acres, you could get by probably with 1 full-time person, but I would say they'd be full-time, you know, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and they would just have their routine of what they would do throughout the property. And they'd probably have an assistant that would be coming in and doing the mowing and that sort of thing. So 1 to 2 people for sure. I think full-time is what it would take to keep the grounds of this property up to the speed or up to the beauty and the meticulous nature that we see here.
And you'd figure with 15,000 square feet of living space, you might need 1 or 2 people inside the home as well. So you probably have a staff of at least 4 to 5 people for this particular property.
You know what? It makes my head spin because, well, both of us probably, Lane, because Lane and I we're both so meticulous with our attention to detail with our work and our living spaces. So makes me crazy thinking about how hard it would be to maintain all this, keep it clean to our standards, or to anyone's standards for that matter. I would say at least, you know, a couple of people, because again, you'd start cleaning one end of the house, and by the time you get to the other end, it's time to start over again.
Here's the fun fact I'm reading for this home, Scott.
Yeah.
Featured 3 times in Architectural Digest.
Wow, that's a great pedigree, and of course, Architectural Digest being one of those iconic publications that's been around for decades and is one of the gold standards. So I would say it's definitely worthy, from what I can see, of being featured in that magazine. But my goodness,
I'd say between Newport Coast and this home here in San Clemente, we're off to a good start.
I think we are. Now, here's an interesting fact, Lane. Given that the price point between these 2 properties is very similar, but yet they're completely different in nature. Again, one is at the south end of the county, so depending on where one has to go in their travels and their daily life, the Newport Coast property could be considered more centrally located and more desirable in that regards. But again, from a purely grounds perspective, and just being a complete getaway, the San Clemente home definitely overshadows the Newport Coast one. Gosh, let me ask you this. If you had the luxury of choosing one of these 2 houses, Lane, which one would you choose?
Oh, wow. I think I always followed land for me in particular, and the fact that you can get 5.5 acres of land and 480 linear feet of beach frontage. Yeah. I'd probably lean towards the San Clemente one here for me, because I can always adapt from a location standpoint as long as I have this, because you can build whatever you want on this particular property, just have it around you on 5.5 acres.
I would say hands down, I would agree with you on that too. I'm looking at these photographs, and they've done a beautiful job, of course, which is a photographer's job. And when someone's presenting a listing, is to want to draw you in and say, gosh, I want to live there. I mean, I want a vacation here. It looks like an amazing property. We notice there's not near as many interior shots of this property as there was in the Newport Coast. So I'm guessing this is probably a bit of a historical compound of homes, and maybe there's some updating that could need to be done inside. But hey, if we can afford to spend this kind of money for the property, we can always update the property or the buildings itself, but we can't move it. And
You're absolutely right. Year built 1926, 1927 area. Yeah. So you're absolutely right on. Almost 100 years old.
Crazy, crazy. Well, gosh, I'm falling in love with this place, but I know our viewers are going to want to see more, so we should probably move on.
And we spent a little bit more time on two of the most expensive homes in Orange County. We can go a little bit more rapid fire, if you will, on these next ones. And I know we're now going towards Laguna Beach here, so let's open up the Laguna Beach home.
And I know we've been on this 10 minutes already. I hope it's not been boring for the viewers, but I guess it just underscores how much Lane and I love our jobs and love real estate, that we can, we can just stay on these properties. But let's keep moving on, Lane. 48,850. What do we have?
48,850, 33 Smithcliffs Road in Laguna Beach. 6 beds, 9 bathrooms total.
Look at that interior. Look at that stairway.
Living square footage of about 10,000. And a lot of a little bit over 24,000.
Now, Smithcliffs is a gated enclave of not too many homes, and it's located on a former spot where there was a trailer park for decades and decades at the very end of North Laguna, right across from Emerald Bay. And it's a coveted location for many in the know because, again, it's a very small enclave. I don't think there's more than 40 to 50 homes in there most. It's been a while since I've shown property in there, but it's very interesting, the history of this spot. It's got 100-year-old pine trees studding the property that were kept after they tore the trailers down and created the winding streets within there. There's not too many homes that are actually oceanfront like this one. And there's also kind of an interesting fun fact that there's a little pocket trail that you can access from Coast Highway that goes right along the south perimeter of Smithcliffs and takes you out to a vantage point overlooking the ocean. So you can get a glimpse of what it's like to live in Smithcliffs without actually living there. If you happen to be down in the North Laguna area near Crescent Bay Park, you would just come a little bit north and you would be able to access a little trail and feel for a moment like you're a Smithcliff resident.
Yep. And I would say this one's a little bit more contemporary. If you're a wine buff, they have a nice little wine cellar in there. The entertainer's paradise. I mean, look at the outdoor entertaining.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's some of the details in the architecture of this particular home is unbelievably beautiful.
I'd have to say, as we compare the three that we've seen so far, the myriad of interior shots here compared to the Newport Coast one, this seems to have that kind of more contemporary, up to the minute vibe that I think would appeal to a lot more of a discerning buyer with regards to these interior spaces. I think the Newport Coast one was just grand in its spaces and so forth, but the decor, the styling is kind of apples and oranges. And I'm really drawn to a lot of the things that I'm seeing here in this Smithcliffs home with regards to the interior finishes and the way they've tricked it out. Yep.
And so if you're looking for one of the most expensive homes in all of Laguna Beach that's currently available right now, 33 Smithcliffs Road just might be the home for you.
Absolutely. Let's move on. What's next?
I think we're moving on to CDM.
Corona Del Mar, up the road just a little bit again, going north from Laguna Beach through Emerald Bay, and then we hit Corona Del Mar. For $35 million, we can have.
This is it. 5 bedrooms, 6 bath, about 7,000 of living square footage on almost a 20,000 square foot lot. This 2-story home. It's marketed as an architectural masterpiece designed to impress.
Look at that.
Yeah, so you get a panoramic ocean view. Who doesn't want to look out to the Pacific every single day from every single room?
It's absolutely phenomenal to have that view. It's just would be incredible, that's for sure.
So this is a pool home, what I'm reading, and there is a 29-foot waterfall. So I wonder if we can get to the photo of that waterfall, because that's something you don't see every day.
We do not see. I don't think I've ever seen a 29-foot waterfall in a residential property, Lane.
I don't think that I have either.
And I've never had a client that says when we give our must-have, we ask them for their must-have list. I've never had someone say, I need a waterfall that's at least 25 feet.
Yeah, but I skipped ahead and I found the photo, and I can't wait for it to pop up because you're going to really enjoy what this looks like. It's something.
Look at these interior photos. Look at the attention to detail in these bathrooms. My gosh, each one of these looks like a 5-star retreat in a hotel. I mean, my goodness.
In addition to some of the amenities for this particular one include wine cellar, gym, built-in sauna, private theater, full kitchen and bar in the theater, and a nice private bedroom wing.
Look at the detail on that open staircase there coming down with those big wooden treads. Up, I think we're getting close.
Oh, there it is. Wow. There's your waterfall.
Wow. Oh my goodness, look at that. It looks like it's kind of almost in an atrium feel. It's kind of an enclosed area. Wow.
You know what? When I got the measuring tape out and I was like, okay, let me measure this waterfall. It wasn't 30 feet. It was just shy.
Oh,
just kidding. Gosh, no, it's marketed as 29 feet. And there's your home theater. It's got the full kitchen in the theater as well. Your gym is coming up right there. Your built-in sauna.
This looks to me like one of those homes that might have some sort of a kind of a inverted floor plan type situation. The way I noticed the stairway is, I'm guessing there's a main upper level and then a very expansive lower level, which probably houses the theater, the wine cellar, and some of the other amenities. And then that waterfall spans from the upper to the lower levels.
Think about what was happening last year too, when we were in the middle of COVID and you had to leave your house to go to the gym. You had to leave your house to go, on vacation or go to work or whatever. And you can do all of that from this home. You've got your gym there. You've got your sauna there. You've got, all of the amenities you need to be able to comfortably stay at home and wiggle around.
Yeah. It's
all
crazy.
right, so this one is.
Just think about this, Lane. I think on this, am I correct? In these homes, your property tax bill is going to be like $35,000 a month.
Yeah, I mean that's probably right on.
Oh my heavens! Wow. So it's a whole different ballgame than we're used to seeing here. But again, it's awesome that we live close to where these wonderful listings are, and in the proximity to these, that we get a chance to take a look at these things and just kind of have some fun for a change on the show.
Yep. So once again, we are going over some of the most expensive homes currently on the market in all of Orange County. We've gone through a few of them. We're trying to spread them out. They're not the top 6, if you will. The one that in CDM happened to be the most expensive one in CDM. The one in Laguna happened to be the most expensive one in Laguna. The one we kicked off with was the most expensive one altogether. Yeah. And I know we're moving on to a different one. I think this one is in Newport Beach.
Yep, so moving again, continuing north.
Continuing a little bit north. Newport Beach, 31 million.
Is this the one on Linda Isle Lane?
This one is on Linda Isle, yeah.
Okay, so Linda Isle, gosh, I remember when I was a kid, and my dad was very much into boats, and his dream was to have a boat, and we actually did have one. We lived in the Inland Empire, but we had a boat, and we kept it at a place called Marina Dunes, which is part of the Newport Dunes Aquatic Complex. And there's a point to this meandering story. It's right across the highway from the area where Newport Harbor, where Linda Isle at that time was being built. It's a man-made island right off Coast Highway. And these are all waterfront properties with varying degrees of water frontage for people to have their boat and their dock right outside their back door. And that's one of the things that I know makes Linda Isle extremely special. It's also a gated island. I have been fortunate enough to know some people that have lived in there over the years. And for those that want a destination address in Newport Beach, this is certainly one of them. To say that you live on Linda Isle, for those in the know, they know what a Linda Isle address means. It's very, very exclusive.
Yeah, and guess what? Maybe your mom would want one that goes with her name. So maybe like a house.
She might. Probably at 83 years old, this is a little more house than my mom would need right now. So, but I love that. I love it. And,
if you took a look at that staircase there, they had glass that went up 2 stories, right?
Wow.
So it goes up.
Oh, you're right.
So
absolutely.
This one is the glass house, if you will. There's large windows. They're frameless, like they really don't have thick frames, which would make it really nice and elegant. And
what's really fun about looking at these, Lane? It's kind of like we can all, I love getting ideas for remodeling and decorating and design. And boy, what a fun place to go is to look at these, because these are people that can probably spare no expense when they're hiring the best of the best to do their improvements, their upgrades to their homes and whatnot. And I'm getting inspired, and I'm getting a lot of upgrade ideas for my own house that I could put.
Stay on this photo here, because I'll go back one if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If you look at this shot, look at the differences in windows and the views that you get between them. Like, look at how big and open this particular one is, and you really don't see many columns. It's just very what do they call them? Picturesque windows, Scott. Like they're they're gorgeous.
They're really beautiful. And then we get a picture of what's a long dock here with the not a side tie, but a true dock where you can access your boat from both sides. And this is a kind of an address where it looks like you could have a mega yacht quite easily and have it be right in your backyard.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
All right, should we round out our list? Finish it up?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to Dana Point.
Dana Point, we're heading back south again.
Heading back south to the Strand.
Uber super contemporary here for $22,500,000.
That's
wrapping
exactly
up our collection today.
This is a private gated community on called the Strand.
Mm-hmm. And the Strand, for those of you in the know or not in the know, is one of the newer enclaves in Dana Point. And a cool fun fact about the Strand is not only is it on the beach, but there are public walking trails right along the base of the homes on the Strand. So you can get a feel for what this development is like and take your own walking architectural tour if you want down near the Dana Point headlands, and you can circle back around. It's really a nice, about an hour-long walk that can include a hike up into the headlands. So check it out sometime, which would just be, you could probably Google, hiking near the Strand in Dana Point, and it's really a fun way to spend a few hours.
Yep.
But back to this house.
Back to this house. I like some of the columns in the living space too. They're actually surrounded by accent lighting, which makes it fun and unique as something that you don't really see every day.
Absolutely. It's great.
The spaces are really open in this home too. It looks like this one also has a nice sauna.
Yeah, look at that.
Little lap pool.
Yes.
Again, this is another home perfect for entertaining. Let's see, 7,852 square feet of living on a little over 10,000 square foot lot. Only 10 years old, so relatively newer home. Listed for 22.5. And we do need to preface one more time as a disclaimer that any of the listings that we're showing you here today, they are not Sackin-Stone team listings. When you go to our website and look at these ones, the proper brokerages will be listed on there. So that way, we're not supposed to be marketing other people's listings, if you will. But we're just disclaiming that these are not ours, but we just wanted to show off that these are some special homes and they're currently the most expensive ones available, because we did receive feedback from some of our viewers that this is one of the topics that they wanted to see for Orange County, and we're providing. Yeah,
it's fun. It's really fun. And again, all of these are out in the multiple listing database, and so probably available to see on the different portals and so forth. But it's fun that we curated them, and thank you, Lane and Stipe, our director, for putting all these together today for those of you. And again, I'm going to reiterate again, I got kind of a kick out of looking at some of the gardens, some of the interior features of these homes, the architectural elements. I've gotten inspired for some projects around my own modest 1,600 square foot house.
So what's your one takeaway that you're gonna?
Well, I have to tell you, my one takeaway was I love some of the amazing detail on these staircases. The only problem is I have a one-story house, so I've got a problem. I'm going to have to add on a second floor, I think. But no, I was really struck by some of the detail on many of those staircases, the innovative use of woods and glass and metal, a lack of railings and so forth. I don't know. I was just struck by that architectural feature today. That was my takeaway. How about you?
No, same. I think because I'm not as much of a landscape buff as you are, I kind of want to be after seeing some of these photos. The way that they really take care of their landscape is pretty wonderful, and I kind of want to add some color, if you will, in mine. Maybe make my grass a little greener if I can. Trim some of the weeds. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was pretty good.
It was fun. Well, I know that this show was a little different than usual. It went a little longer than we've done, but we hope you enjoyed kind of taking a tour up and down the Orange County coast with us, looking at some of these fun properties. I had a great time.
Me too. And this, again, was one of the ideas that we heard from feedback from our viewers, and we love doing these type of things. So what do you want to see next? What do you want to hear? What are you concerned? What do you, and I don't want to say concerned, but what are you most interested in? Is it the most
Absolutely.
expensive? Is it the least expensive homes in Orange County? That's something we can do next. We can show you some of the least expensive homes. You might not want to see them, but we can do it.
We certainly can. Yeah. And again, today's show just illustrates again, we like to be well-rounded. We like to provide a little of everything. It's not all about stats and numbers. We're fortunate here, as most of our viewers are, to live in one of the most beautiful places with the best climate in the country. And we love where we live. We love where we work. And we're just glad to be able to present all different topics and different shows for you.
Yeah, and if you like this particular show or you found something of value that you think somebody else might find of value, hit the share button. That's the best thing you can do to show us love. Share this particular video with your friends and family. We'll be forever grateful. But as always, we will be back same time, same place next Wednesday for another episode of SnL.
Absolutely. This is Scott.
And Lane signing off.
Signing off. Have a great week, everybody.